So here we are looking at the Oz Woody 157, which is a really fun board. I had a really good time on this. And as you can see, it's got a good bit of camber between the feet here and a lot of spring. But then it leads to a mellow rocker, if you look here. Just a mellow rocker in the tip and tail. Just a little bit, you know, past the bindings, you start to see it bend up. And what a fun, aggressive, all-mountain freestyle twin. You know, I would say, let's just start off with my one complaint. I would say I was a little disappointed seeing this as a true twin with a centered stance. I don't care if it's a true twin. I actually like that. But I'd love if they drilled an extra set right here just to set it back. You know, for those of us who, you know, like to carve up the mountain regular and switch, and but then on powder days, set it back and surf. So this is just a shade away from being like a true all-mountain one-board quiver, but it's a great all-mountain freestyle board that I think a lot of people will like. I like the edge hold. I felt it gripped really well in the conditions I rode. One day with really hard snow, another day with soft snow, you know, like about an inch or two of powder on top of just a brick of ice. And I constantly kept, you know, the powder was scraped away and you constantly kept hitting that brick, and this just held no problem. You know, it's got a real, pretty aggressive flex. It's really hard for me to even bend it here. But I still had, it still was pretty fun to butter and press. And I felt like, you know, I'm a little heavier, so I like a board that has a little bit more stiffness in the tip and tail when it comes time to butter and press. And I felt that there was a little bit of pop out of the tip and tail, even though it was bending up. It was bending the wrong way. And I loved carving on this. Little disappointed with the stance width for me. I had to set, this is centered at 23 inches wide. So if there is a powder day, I can only go, and I want to set it back, I can only go back one insert. That's why I'd love to see them add another one here. So I could just get, you know, get all the way back at like 23. That'd be really cool. But anyways, that's the other thing. But, you know, this camber has just a nice spring out of it. I love the feel of this board. It's got this like, kind of like nice balance between rubbery damp and poppy. And you know, also the bass was super fast. It really had a good glide to it. Out of all the Oz boards, it really just carried itself the longest off this super long chairlift flat run. It's just a great, you know, it tells you what the bass is going to be like, and it just carried itself really long. You know, maybe it has different wax on this compared to these, but it just, you know, it's just fast, and it just was really damp and aggressive. And I had a video review of this on the mountain, but somehow I accidentally deleted it. But it was, you know, there was just a lot more stoke when I got off the hill and I was talking about it than I do now. You know, a few days later in a studio, bored out of my mind because the season's over. But anyways, here is the camber profile. There's this really cool top sheet. And I don't know if I can capture it the way I did, but you can see it's got like kind of a skateboard deck type of feel to it. It's not as coarse, obviously, as a skateboard deck, but it's great because you can just put your boot right here, and you don't even really need a stomp pad unless you're, you know, one of those real sketchy people that freaks out. But you know, I don't normally wear a stomp pad, but I really like this over, you know, your average normal decks, you know, at the top there. So, you know, all in all, the Oz Woody is a really fun, aggressive, carvy, poppy, playful aggressive all mountain freestyle that actually it's not that playful, but it's playful enough. It's a lot more playful than a regular camber board, but it's just one of those boards that I just wouldn't mind owning, and really liked it. This and the Oz Mountain Wave, the Woody and the Mountain Wave would be a nice 1-2 combination for most riding I want to do, and it would be fun to have both these in my quiver. I'd like to spend more time on both in better conditions, and compare these to a lot of my favorites, but just, from this initial testing at the end of the season and kind of poor to not very good snow, they did a very good job. I'd like to get to know them a little better. So all in all, the Oz Woody, pretty good choice.